Good evening, folks. I now call the Champaign County Board Environment and Land Use meeting to order. It is 6:34. Would the clerk call the roll, please?
Rogers.
Present.
Varney. Locke. Rodriguez.
Here.
Storr.
Present.
Esri.
Here.
Thorsland.
Here. All right, we have a quorum. Thank you, everyone, for coming. I'd motion to approve the agenda with addendum. Moved by Chris, second by Aaron. Is there any changes?
I'd like to amend the agenda to move 7C in front of A and B, and then just move A. So make 7C on the addendum, make it A, and then A becomes B and B becomes C on the original agenda. Just not saying it's going to be a super long meeting, but still just let our two people here representing this case get out and headed home a little bit earlier.
All right, we've got a motion to amend the amended agenda. Second by Ramala. All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? All right, it's amended. Now approve the agenda as amended. All those in favor? Aye. And those opposed? All right. We have the minutes from February 6, 2025, regular meeting. First, I'd like a motion to approve. Chris, second by, I'm looking at Emily. It's your turn. Any changes, any modifications to those? All right. Thank you, Chris, for the compliment. Make sure it gets to the right people. So, all right, all those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? The minutes are approved. I don't have any slips for public input. Petitioners are here. And I assume you're available if we have questions later on, correct? And last chance, if you want to say something now, raise your hand. If not, all right. We'll close public input and move to communications. Do we have any communications for the board? From the board. All right. We're moving along. All right, 7 with the new A, zoning case 163 AM 25, a request by Premier Cooperative, Inc. to amend the zoning map by changing the zoning district designation from B5 Central Business and Ag 1 Agriculture to I1 Light Industry on 4 tracts of land totaling 9.06 acres in the west half of Section 34, Township 22 North, Range 8 east of the 3rd Principal Meridian in East Bend Township, located south of 2nd Street, in the village of Dewey, with PIN numbers 10 2 34 326 006, 10 2 34 328 001, 10 2 34 181 002, and 10 02 34 182 002, commonly known as the Premier Cooperative Facility on the south side of 2nd Street in Dewey. Do I have a motion? Motion by Aaron, a second by Kamala was first. Discussion. The petitioners are here if there's questions. John, in between, do you have anything to say?
No, just this is a unanimous recommendation from the ZBA that took, I think, all of 5 minutes to make, and should make things better in Dewey. So it looks pretty cut and dried.
That it does. Is there anything the petitioners may want to add right now, or is there any questions for the petitioners from the board? Chris, Aaron?
No questions, just a few comments, but yeah, like Mr. Hall said, it was very quick. It's not saying it's the quickest. John would know more than I would on that, but it's the quickest, I think, in terms of overall, but it's the quickest I believe I've ever been at a ZBA meeting to see it passed, which is fine by me. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I do have just one quick question for John, though. I mean, technically, this is converting ag land into other, is it not? I mean, but yet the land is being converted, isn't currently being farmed. I mean, if anything, the area that would be farmed that's left is just mowed, correct?
That's right. And it is in support of agriculture, so.
All right, Chris, did you have a question?
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that it has to be rezone to light industry, rather than, I mean, it seems like this ought to be so compatible with either the central business or ag, but if that's what the zoning requires, seems reasonable to me.
They could have done it with a special use permit in the Ag 1, but it wasn't allowed at all in the portion that's B5. Plus, they made the decision, well, the decision was made a few years ago to zone the western portion I1, and so this makes great sense to me, put it all under one designation where everything is by right, because we already had the stormwater policy that'll take care of the stormwater management, and especially since this is going to move a lot of the traffic off of 2nd Street, that makes it even better, so.
All right, I hope that answers your question. Does anybody have any questions for the petitioners who were so kind to come out tonight? Boy, I really, sorry. They had an offer for that, and they were happy just to be here for questions. So it is very straightforward, and it did zip through. I think maybe there was an Illini game or something that night. You never know. All right, last chance for anything else. If not, all those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? All right, that passes and moves on to the county board. Moving along, thank you for coming tonight. Have a good evening. They have Yingling at Bunny's, is that? Okay. That's not for the minutes. Item now B, resolution authorizing the creation of a carbon sequestration activities task force as a county board select committee. Could I have a motion? Motion from Mala, a second. Second from Dr. Storr. Discussion. Dr. Storr, maybe you've got something to add to this?
We're making inquiries with local businesses and organizations to and have a number of members that have agreed to serve on the task force. And I think the Prairie Research Institute this afternoon indicated that they'd be glad to provide technical experts.
Okay, do we have too many people who want to be on the task force?
If we threw it open, I bet we would.
Okay, is there a proposed timeline?
We'd like to try to limit under discussion that we should limit the number of meetings to 4 to 6, so that to give the Zoning Board of Appeals plenty of time to conduct their hearing and bring it all to conclusion by the end of the calendar year.
Okay, so these are just once a month?
At this time, that's all we consider.
Okay, so that would be 4 to 6 months from now, and then zoning board, and then through ELUC, and then county board. And what is our clock on the current moratorium? We're 2 months in, right? So we have 10 months before the current moratorium expires. So is there any mechanism in the task force, or should we put one in at maybe the county board level to put a deadline, or ask for some progress report to come back from someone that's on the task force and also on the board to let us know how far along they think they are and how long it might take to finish so we can get it to ZBA?
In discussion this afternoon, Chair Locke and I thought that 4 to 6 months would be plenty of time, and that if something was, question was raised that would extend this, that we'd come back to the board and seek an extension or something.
Yeah, I don't want to make you feel like you have to rush through it, because this is important, but we have a schedule. Emily?
As far as input goes, it seems to me that putting together a task force would allow them to also give input into the deadlines that we would set. So So maybe that can be a check-in with the chair and whoever is chairing that committee. I don't know if it's a subset, but in seeing if that goal is reasonable, or if they want to check in sooner to get feedback from the board or this committee, I think that'd be totally reasonable. But I do just want to highlight that the committee can be helpful in setting expectations for their work.
Yeah. Any other comments? No, not from Aaron. All right. Then I guess all those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? That's approved, and we'll move that to the county board. C now, renewal of notice of intent or NOI for period from June 1st, 2024 to May 31st, 2029 for the National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System, or NPDES, Municipal Separate Storm Sewer System, or MS4, Stormwater Discharge Permit with the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency, or IEPA. First, a motion. Motion by Aaron, a second. It's Emily's turn. Emily, second by Emily, thank you. Discussion or input from John?
Yeah, so apologize for losing track of our MS4 NOI. We've been following it lately because we knew it was getting close to needing renewed. At the same time, we've been waiting for 4 years for the new guidance from EPA because there's a statewide general permit called the ILR 40, and the state establishes that in consultation with the feds. That establishes the requirements for all of the county and municipal MS4s. And we've been waiting for 4 years. We still don't have it. So we're doing this renewal so we can at least say, you know, we're trying to keep current. We're not making any changes at this time. We've actually been expecting the new ILR 40 literally at any time for the past 4 years. Once we get that ILR 40 guidance, we'll have a few months in which to make changes. Changes could be significant. They issued a draft back in 21, which talked about actually doing sampling. And if we have to do sampling, it could be both from stormwater basins during runoff events and from dry illicit discharges. We've never had to do sampling. I hope we don't have to do it. But in any case, we'll be coming back as soon as possible with a different renewal, probably a more complicated one that might be more expensive. And again, we won't have a lot of time to work that out. So I would also view that as getting something in place as soon as possible and then take more time. And depending on how complicated that is, we might have to work out some approaches with our municipal partners here in the county, because most of the changes would really affect them more than the county. We don't really have that much significant development in our MS4 area, but that's kind of a strange thing about the MS4 permit. It looks at everybody the same way. So what's good for Champaign City is going to be good for Champaign County. And let's just say that the city was greatly concerned when they saw the requirements that were proposed in 21. And like us, they're still waiting to see what those are going to be.
All right, thank you, John. I think I asked this in the agenda meeting, but do we have, if they decide we need sampling, is that like you and a stick in a cup, or is it, where do we take it? Do you just look at it and go, ooh, that's gross? Does this Supreme Court ruling that just came down on the Clean Water Act have anything to do with changing it? Because now more sewage is allowed in your clean water?
Yeah, I don't think that changes the MS4, because the MS4 is non-point, and
Okay.
that's not sewage.
Yeah.
So
All right.
pretty sure we won't be going out with the tin cup. And even if we do go out with the tin cup, we have to send it somewhere to be analyzed. So I don't want to make too much of that, but that is what they were talking about in 21.
Yeah, I think I vaguely recall that. So, Chris?
Thank you. I know that the Urbana-Champaign Sanitary District does a certain amount of testing for stormwater, and they have a pretty capable lab. Would that be something that we could kind of arrange either through contract or agreement for them to help with that? I mean, should the time come?
Well, we'll keep that in mind and probably check in with them if something like this actually does become a requirement.
Well, I guess we'll just kind of wait and then see what goes when things come up. Would this kind of relate to like drainage districts and or like the drainage from storm that goes into the ditches?
Yes, but only in our MS4 area, which is county board accepted the recommendation to limit the MS4 area to just the unincorporated part of the urbanized area. And so it doesn't get further than, say, a half a mile away from the existing cities. It's very condensed area like that. But it also it follows our county highways throughout the county because that's part of our MS4 jurisdiction also. And that crosses every stream in the county. But it's just from those county roadside ditches out there. So we've opted to keep it as small as possible in the event that significant requirements came up. So we'll see how that shakes out.
All right. Any other questions on our notice of intent? Aaron?
Just another comment, of course, should we ever have to go out and sample, the idea since it's storm sewer, well, you're going to have water flowing if you have a sample. So that means who knows when that will be flowing. So you'd have to basically wait around unless they would accept that there was no water flowing. I mean, I don't know how, if you had to get a sample in and say we were in the middle of a drought, well, how do you do that? I don't know how they would accomplish that, but I mean, you're going to have water flowing to get a sample.
Yeah, no. For example, stormwater sampling would only have to happen generally after a rain of a half inch or more. And if you're in a drought, then it's probably not going to be an issue. But you got to be ready to get out there when that drought is over. More significant concern to me is the illicit discharges, because all of our illicit discharges, if they're even happening, are in an area that's difficult to get to any day of the year. That would be in the Saline branch. And, getting down there to take samples is pretty darn challenging. So anyhow, we'll see how that all shakes out.
Yeah, so I mean, thanks, John. I mean, your staff already has plenty to do, and then to have to potentially, you can basically say almost moment's notice, get out and try and collect these samples could really make it interesting in his office, I'm sure.
Do you have rubber boots and a raincoat and a tin cup?
Well, we have 2 sets of waders that we bought in anticipation of doing stuff
you're
like
way
this.
ahead of my plan.
Unfortunately, one set is for me and the other set is for someone who no longer works here and probably won't fit anyone else in the department. So we might have to buy a new set of waders.
I always said I would happily donate into my basement. That scares the crap out of people when they go in the room where the furnace is. So, because they're hanging up there. Yeah, well, that's all interesting when it'll either happen soon or we'll be waiting 4 years from now having this same discussion. So, all right, any other discussion on item C? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? All right, that passes. All of them pass tonight. Moving on to item 8, monthly reports. There are none. I have no chair's report. I would like to designate items 7A, B, and C But I'd like to keep B, which is the creation of the carbon sequestration activities, off of consent, just because I think people are going to want to talk about that. So, in particular, maybe one member of this esteemed board. So we can move all those on the county board, but let's keep B off consent. Any other business? It's not on the agenda, but it's your last chance. Otherwise, this meeting is adjourned, and I thank you for coming and making a quorum, everyone. And we will see you next week on Tuesday.